Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Neil Howard, here on Health Professional Radio. Glad that you could join us. Going to have a conversation with Dr. Robyn Odegaard, affectionately known as Dr. Robyn. Dr. Robyn is co-founder of the Whole Food Muscle Club, and she's joining us on Health Professional Radio to talk about her new book that she co-authored with her husband, How to Feed a Human, the Whole Food Muscle Way. Welcome to the program, Dr. Robyn.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, Dr. Robyn, you've co-written this book with your husband, the Whole Food Muscle Club. Are you a nutritionist? Are you a healthcare provider? What's a little bit of background about yourself?
So my background is I started out as a competitive beach volleyball player. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I transitioned and went into psychology. I have a doctoral degree in psychology. Mm-hmm. But then when I got to be about 40, I felt like my body just went on a hiatus and I started gaining weight and I started having cholesterol problems, all the things that we see, people over 40 having. And my medical doctor said, oh yeah, that happens when you're over 40. And I really felt like I wanted to know more. So I went on my own and started studying nutrition for myself. And that culminated in thousands of hours spent studying the science and reading books and then getting the certificate from the Center of Nutrition Studies at Cornell University. It's how I got involved in nutrition. And then people started asking me, hey, can you help me? And I found that my psychology background helped people not with just what to do, because a lot of nutritionists can tell you what to do, but actually how to do it, how to overcome that psychological and emotional barriers that come with eating.
Is your husband also a nutritionist? Does he have a medical background as well, or a psychological background?
So his background is he's a former competitive bodybuilder and a trainer on the Mr. Olympia tour. So he has a lot of that aspect. So he's been studying nutrition and into nutrition for about 45 years. And as I got involved in this, he wanted to learn it as well. So he kind of came on this journey with me, and that's how we got even more into nutrition than he already was. We kind of joke before we started changing our diet, he did all of our cooking. I didn't do any of it. And now it's completely reversed where I do all of the cooking. So he says he got the good end of the deal on that.
Co-founding the Whole Food Muscle Club. First of all, what are whole foods and what is the Whole Food Muscle Club?
So the difference for us is between whole food and fake food. So fake food, and this is my really quick and simple definition, if anything you eat was designed, marketed, and created to make a company money, it's probably fake. Okay. It's not actually real food. So when we ask people to eat whole food, we're talking about food the way that it comes out of the ground, the whole fruit, the whole vegetable, not a supplement, not the juicing, not any, just the whole food is what we're looking for people to eat. Okay. So the Whole Food Muscle Club came about because we had a lot of people who were looking for support on their health journey. Mm-hmm. And so we created this online support system where there's a community page where they can ask questions. There's recipes that we actually eat, not just, hey, here's some stuff you can make, but here's recipes we actually eat on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. People have sent in recipes and said, hey, can you help me make this a healthier option? We do that. And then we do a webinar once a month for members where it's a live Q&A. Hop on the webinar, ask us anything you want. And we have a really good time once a month talking to members. And then, there's workouts that my husband has created. So people, depending upon where they are, whether they are, just starting out and there's a few at-home exercises they can do, or maybe they're, a little further along and they're at a gym. So there's that, or they can work with us and get individual coaching as well.
Your book, How to Feed a Human, the Whole Food Muscle Way. I thought that these companies that, make and market our food were feeding us as humans.
Well, so yes and no. Companies, what they do is they look at how they can make food as addictive as possible. They want to be able to hit the bliss point. And the bliss point means that you will enjoy it so much you can't decide you've had enough, which is really good for their bottom line, not very good for your waistline. And so that's what makes it fake food. And the best example I like to give is if you think about watermelon candy and how it tastes more watermelon-y than real watermelon.
A good indicator, yeah?
Yeah. And so what happens is when you eat these fake foods, your taste buds get so used to them that real food then doesn't taste good and you don't enjoy it, which is why so many people say, oh, I don't like fruit. I don't like vegetables. It's because they're so used to eating and drinking fake food that real food doesn't taste good anymore.
So is this something that you have, in your experience, have had a hard time getting through to people? Or is it something that once the light goes on and you show them, a drastic change in lifestyle takes place?
Both. So there's certainly, and a lot of physicians, when I speak at physician conferences, they'll say, oh, my patients will never do this. Mm-hmm. And there is a certain percentage of people who just absolutely have no interest. They don't want to. But there's a lot of people who want to, but they don't know how. And then they end up in a situation where they're not sure, should I eat this? Should I eat that? What should I do? They're so confused. And so then they get overwhelmed and they just don't. But what I find is that if you give people not only what to do, but how, and help them transition and help them deal with their emotional barriers and their relationship with food and the habit they have with eating, it's Pavlovian eating is what it's called. If you help them deal with those hurdles, people are really happy to make this transition. And then the light bulb goes on and they're like, oh, wow, this really works for me.
How to feed a human, the whole food muscle way. What you're talking about, as you mentioned, it sounds like this food becomes addictive and our taste buds become addicted to a certain type of food. What about the withdrawal from these foods that you're going to experience once you get into your book?
And that is something that does happen. And so there's kind of two ways to do it. You can go cold turkey and really kind of deal with those really bad addiction symptoms and whatnot. And you end up with a toxic hunger where you get the shakes and you feel like you're just miserable because your body's trying to detox. Or you can transition more slowly. When we actually made this change, it took us about 8 months of learning and changing and tweaking things. And interestingly, the thing for us that made me have an aha moment was we had a place we used to go for nachos that we really enjoyed their nachos. And we had been kind of transitioning for a while, and we decided to go there just kind of as a splurge. And we went and we got the nachos, and I actually asked the manager who knew us, I said, what did you guys change? This cheese tastes like plastic. He's like, we didn't change anything. And that's when I realized my taste buds had changed so much that what I had thought was yummy before now tasted like fake food because it was fake food.
Talk a little bit about fasting. We've all heard about it. A lot of us have maybe a misconception of what it actually is.
Yeah, a lot of people worry about fasting because they're afraid that it's going to damage their metabolism. Mm-hmm. But in reality, portion control eating, where you regularly eat really small amounts, slows your metabolism, whereas fasting will speed up your metabolism because if you consider, if you're on the Serengeti and you're running away from lions and such, food isn't readily available all of the time. You eat it when it is available, and then when it's not, your body goes, hey, we don't have food, go find more, and it speeds your metabolism up. And there are a lot of different ways that you can engage in intermittent fasting, and there's a whole chapter on it in the book and all the different ways that you can do it, but it helps remove toxins from your body. It gives your body a break from processing food because your body, it's kind of like a computer. Your computer can't run a defrag when you're working on it. Your body can't eliminate toxins when it's processing food. So it needs a break from that processing of food. And it used to be that people didn't eat overnight. Most people would get 12 to 14 hours every night where they didn't eat. But now in our culture, we're eating till 9 o'clock at night, and then we get up and we've got this idea that, oh, breakfast is important. And they eat as soon as they get out of bed, and it doesn't give their body that break that it used to get.
Okay, so intermittent fasting, I guess, as you're transitioning from the fake food to the whole food way of eating, yeah? Just
intermittent fasting in general is a really healthy option. Now, obviously, it is something that isn't something, you don't just jump into it and say, I'm going to fast for 36 hours today. You have to work into that. We do fast about 20 to 24 hours twice a week, but we've been doing that consistently for about almost 2 years now, 18 months, 2 years. And our bodies are very used to it. So we get up, we go to the gym, we work out, we do all of our normal things, and our bodies are just like, oh, okay, fasting today, fine. But yeah, we ask our clients to transition into it. Usually what I ask is push your breakfast back a little bit. if you're fasting overnight, assuming that you're not on Ambien and, waking up and eating in the middle of the night, you're fasting overnight already, however many hours. If you can just push that a little bit, that can be really helpful and an easy way to transition into it.
Dr. Robyn, where can our listeners get a copy of your book, How to Feed a Human the Whole Food Muscle Way?
So the book is available pretty much anywhere books are sold. The easiest places to get are going to be Amazon and Barnes & Noble. But anywhere books are sold, they can get you a copy.
And where's your website?
Our website is thewholefoodmuscleclub.com.
Great. Dr. Robyn, thank you so much for joining us here on Health Professional Radio this evening.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
You as well. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, listen in and download at SoundCloud, and be sure and visit our affiliates page at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. Thank you for listening to Health Professional Radio. We're very proud to be an independent broadcaster providing our content free of charge to you, the listener. One of the ways that we're able to remain free and independent is by having people like you become patrons. You can support Health Professional Radio simply by visiting hpr.fm and clicking the button that says Become a Patron. Your patronage of even just $1 a month lets us know that you're there, which in turn makes us more valuable to advertisers. And, of course, if you're able to afford more, then we would certainly appreciate the support. My name is Toby Longhurst from Health Professional Radio. Please visit hpr.fm, click the Become a Patron button, and support us if you can.